episode opens nationally at midnight tonight.
The hype surrounding this movie has been overwhelming. Now the question is, will it deliver?
They're about to open the doors here in just a few minutes, and people are revved
Some
up.
2.2 million Americans from New York.
So I've been responding to Cinema Sins and the Birdmano on occasion with the prequels, which are, frankly, very confusing in many ways.
Which is technically after this movie's events, how much extra technology this era has over its successor.
Hey, Jeremy, these are droids. And you know what else was a droid in episode 4? C-3PO. And if you want to be pedantic, these particular droids are made by the Separatists, and the entire point of the Clone Wars era is to show how the Separatists were defeated and their tech destroyed.
This way, please.
There's peace, right? Episode 1, we have war at the very end, because though the audience may not be aware of it totally, that Palpatine has set the stage for this galactic cosmic warfare. But yeah, you would expect that during peacetime, technology would be more widespread, it would be more advanced. It is a bit of a dangling plot thread that the droids have all kind of gone away, at least the droid armies. We have a lot of droids in the OT, but yeah, where are the droid armies? We will have to assume a lot of them were destroyed, shut down, the survivors of the war. It's not too many of them, so not seeing what the major confusion is. At least not yet.
Messengers are Jedi Knights, I believe.
Why would the Chancellor send obvious Jedi to the Trade Federation when it's pretty obvious they would never agree to enter the same room with them? Sending Jedi to something like this is almost like declaring war. At least make them not dress like Jedi so it can be a surprise.
Chancellor Valorum has no idea Darth Sidious has been manipulating these people. Naturally, neither do the Jedi.
Well, as usual, Birdman and Jeremy are both half right and half wrong. Very suspicious that the Chancellor is dispatching Jedi. The Jedi are not there technically to coerce the Trade Federation, but obviously sending them is a serious signal that, yeah, you better negotiate or things could get very rough. The fighting is meant to be defensive in nature, which is what happens. They don't start until they're attacked. If they try to do a totally covert mission, that would undermine the entire point, which is they're there to de-escalate hostilities, not ratchet them up.
In the trilogy. In Attack of the Clones, we learn there are separatists, but never are we told why these systems want to secede from the Republic. In my rewrite, Attack of the Clones will take place immediately after the Phantom Menace, and the reason systems are seceding is because of the way the Republic handled the Naboo crisis. Tensions have been boiling, then seeing how the Republic ignored Naboo's call for aid has pushed systems over the edge. We also learn that the reason Palpatine was manipulating the Trade Federation.
I'm guessing in 2019, George Lucas will want to add some more lizards to this shot so that it will finally be complete.
Except that joke doesn't work because George Lucas sold the rights to Star Wars 3 years before you made this video.
The joke doesn't have a lot of punch because Lucas sold Lucasfilm, so I mean, the joke has resonance if you were there in the 2000s when Lucas made a lot of questionable decisions to keep prequels, OT, even non-Star Wars films. He just kept editing, redoing them, adding special effects, taking things out, causing a lot of mischief. But there you go. That era is over. So kind of a lame joke.
Saying nothing about these droids' crazy ability to drive on the exterior surface of a moving spaceship.
This is because since they are in a vacuum and there is no wind resistance, the difference between the ship's momentum and the droids is zero. In other words, try walking inside an airplane or train.
Yeah, Jeremy does this a lot, where he points to an alleged science issue or science problem, but there really isn't any. So you're like, yeah, there's no problem. There's no need for a sin. You didn't say anything. You just don't know science.
If they know the exact floor and exact room Padme is sleeping in, why didn't they just program this thing to fire missiles into the room? Yeah, the assassins felt like they needed to be more subtle, but do you think people wouldn't be able to figure out this was foul play?
Of course people would assume foul play. That's not the point.
The Worms it's meant to be an homage to the James Bond films. So, question answered. It's just an homage. Lucas is doing a bit of and as a director, stylistically, he can do that. So, not a big deal.
We'll be delighted to hear that we are on schedule.
All these people need to know is that Obi-Wan is a Jedi, and they just blab the whole evil plan to him before making sure it's okay to tell him.
Because the order for the clones was from the Jedi. Dude, keep up.
I don't think we know the order is from the Jedi. It's from a Jedi, right? Sifo Dyas. So, I mean, maybe Sifo Dyas said that. That's not really what happened. And then apparently got killed off camera. It's a little weird, a little confusing, but not that confusing.
Get him, Dad! Get him! Fire!
Boba Fett, ladies and gentlemen.
It's Boba Fett, my guy. I know you're from Tennessee and all, but not everyone is named Bubba.
Owen Law
Exclusively had reading. How is this a cinema sin if reading has always been a part of film?
These two ships are doing absolutely nothing except making a long, unbroken shot possible. Of course, when it's all a cartoon, how impressive is that?
Wait, what was that?
Of course, when it's all a cartoon, how impressive is that?
One more time.
How impressive is that?
Impressive?
How impressive is that? How impressive is that? How impressive.
Yeah, that is a very, very good one. I have noticed CinemaSins / Jeremy, I would assume the obvious. They're pumping out these videos so much in such a high quantity that they just keep making these little mistakes, which would defeat the whole purpose because they're doing all these comedy videos saying, oh, these little sins add up to a very bad movie. Wouldn't all these little flubs add up to not a good CinemaSins video? So good on Birdman to call it out.
Finally gives us a nerdgasm scene with dozens of Jedi and lightsabers all at once. And I'd take a sin or two off if I hadn't had to sit through 2 movies of mostly boring bullshit to finally get this.
Jeremy sins something he likes, cliche.
You would have taken off a sin because the scene is cool, but the movies were so boring until now. So you think the Darth Maul fighting scene, or I should say fighting scenes, were boring? Wow, that's a very odd standard for boring.
Sith Lords are our specialty.
Yeah, except for Qui-Gon. Too soon?
Okay, Qui-Gon was defeated by Maul, but Obi-Wan defeated him, right? I mean, he's not saying Sith Lords were Qui-Gon's specialty.
There is a point to be had here that Obi is just saying this word Sith Lords, like, wait, not that long ago, when you think through the timeline, I'm like, wow, in a whole decade or more, Sith Lords went from they don't exist to they are our specialty.
So it's come to this, a coughing robot.
General Grievous is a cyborg, not a robot.
One, Birdman, cover this, yes. Grievous is not a robot. He is a much more advanced cyborg. He's a merger of a man and the machine. In terms of the coughing, there's a meta explanation. He's meant to evoke the real world actor and him playing Dracula. Basically, Mace Windu injured Grievous, and that's why he's coughing.
Beautiful.
She's okay, but have you seen her decoy?
Yes, we have. And while Keira Knightley is stunning, have you seen Natalie Portman eating hot wings?
But it's probably true.
In the span of one movie.
Well, this is a really funny place to even try to sin or not sin. 2 good-looking women. I don't know who is better looking eating the hot wings. Hot woman number 1, decoy, or Naboo hot chick number 2. I don't know. It's a really, really tough choice. And that is, I think, an appropriate place to CinemaSins sexology or whatever.
But wait! There's more!
Unobstructed windows to her heart's delight.
He's overly critical. He never listens.
Where the f*** did this come from? You were just talking about making sure she's safe, and it turned into a diatribe about how life's unfair to you.
It's not fair.
Padme will not—
But wait! There's more!
Because he's powerful, and the story turns out the exact same way. But you know what's the biggest reason why I hate the prophecy? It's because now in Return of the Jedi, when Vader kills Palpatine, it's no longer about him saving his son. It's about him fulfilling the prophecy of destroying the Sith. Even before The Rise of Skywalker came out, I still hated the prophecy because that would mean that every time a Sith appears after Return of the Jedi, then people were gonna complain that the
Or be with the people that I love.
You do not love her yet. You haven't even seen her in 10 years. You have a boner. That's it. How does Jedi training not include sex ed?
Attachment is forbidden.
So do all the Jedi just hope that all potential Jedi in the universe are created by that Shmi Skywalker method of midichlorian pregnancy? I'll tell you how this romance is made even more painful. It has to start with Amidala resisting Anakin for nearly the whole movie before
are willing to go to show off their love for their favorite franchises. Just look at the way fans were acting before The Phantom Menace came out. The movie released in May of 1999, and the November prior was the first
time, which is dumb as hell. How does a robot get promoted through the ranks so quickly and become a general? What the f*** is this nonsense?
Again, Grievous isn't a robot. He was a Kaleesh warlord who cybernetically enhanced his body after suffering severe injuries. The Separatist droid army were...
Padme will go from maternal figure in this film to sexual partner in the next. Like that. And that is creepy as f***.
You mean sisterly figure. And yeah, that might be creepy to us, but let's not piss off them boys in Alabama. They got yellow flags and don't wear masks.